Hello, my internet friends. Welcome back once again to my channel. So in this discussion, we are going to learn about app router. So what is this app router and why this app router is important to our cloud journey? Before I, share those things, let's first, get to know the intention of this video. So this video is intended for to tell you about how to create a web application and consuming the service that we have already built in our previous tutorial, which is on travel and booking unmanaged service. So in case you haven't created that service yet, my request and recommendation would be click on the I button and get that service ready, because that is the service we'll be using in our web application development. So this application is pretty simple and straightforward. I think world's most simplest web application you have ever seen so far. Nothing inside, just simple one HTML page. So we'll be using this app router to make this web application works and integrate with our service, right? So stick around till the end and let's learn the purpose and usage of app router. So let's see how this application first looks before we get into much more of technical details. What exactly we are going to build? I told it's a very simple but very interesting the discussion would be. Yeah, this is our web application. I know, don't laugh. I know this is a very simple way of web application build up, but there is a reason. I don't want to focus more on web application development, right? But I wanted to focus more on integration aspects. So how this service that we have built, which is residing at the cloud, this web application I have built it in VS Code, means you can think through kind of a local development, and then I had deployed into cloud, and then I have integrated my service with this web application, of course through app router, and that is our prime focus now here. So I try to make my web application as simple as possible, but my job is to be done by this approach. Click on the travel service. Let's see. It should probably open the travel details. Yes, it is opening. Fantastic. So let's go back. If I click on the booking, hopefully it will. Yes, travel and booking ID. Fantastic. Let's go back. The currency. Some problem, resource not found, currency. Okay, you need to I need to change this C back to capital C. No, I have double C I have entered. What's I'm doing? Yes, now I can see the currency service is also working, right? So that is our intention, and subsequent video will use this service to get consumed into our application, which will not be that much of simple hello world kind of, but it will be more about UI5 features I'll try to add on. Okay, so how these applications I built, of course, one of our discussion in ABAP Cloud, we have seen that how to create an web API which doesn't have any annotations linked to, and how to get it tested through Postman. Just look at this video that how to create an web API, because that API actually I'm using here to get it consumed. Okay, so let's now focus more on the app router, how this app router comes into our picture. Okay, so now the app router is also called some sort of a delegator. So here you can see that I have an inbound request based on the route that I'm looking at. For example, I have shown the travel, booking, currency. So there's a different routes, right, of our service. So whichever route or entities or path that we are look at, based on that path, it will actually delegate the request to the corresponding service. That is the job of the app router. It's basically a Node.js application which will be creating not from scratch, of course, because SAP has already created that application. We have to just make our environment ready to deploy this application into cloud, and we can use this app router for our own purpose, for our own development. Node.js application, how to create in VS Code and all. I have created a video a long back where I described how to integrate Alexa Echo Dot with SAP. Probably you can just take a look of this video. You'll get to know how to deploy the application over cloud, how to install VS Codes, and all sort of basic things that I have already explained. So I'm not reiterating those. Hopefully you will able to get those information details. In case any questions, you can definitely comment in this video. Okay, here one more thing you can see, Xsua is an authentication and trust management service. That is a very important role that is playing over here. Okay, so we created one applications for testing that web API Postman, and that time we have used this Xsua trust management and authorization service, and we generated the BRR token and to test this application. But in our web application development, that approach we cannot will not work, because we have to put that token, right? So you have to find some other route or other option. So we will be creating again a instance of Xsua, but this time dedicated for our application, and how to forward the token along with my service through app router to get to know the actual target route or path. That possibly is the thing that we have to also look at. We'll see how to do this all sort of configurations, and based on that, it is my web application will be able to make a successful request and make it authenticated through this service, and the request would be delegated through this app router to the target system, not target system, but the target entity. Okay, so let's figure out first how to create the app router and deploy it into cloud. So this is my Visual Studio Code. So let's first create our folder structures properly. For that, I would like to open my CLI, and let's go to my desktop, then all projects, and here I'm going to create app router project, some folder I'm creating. I'm on Windows, and then I'm going to that particular folder and open this in VS Code. Great. So now I have opened my folder. Let's close it. And now first I have to do create a manifest.yml. Okay, so this file I need to deploy to our cloud. Next, I'm going to create a folder. I'm naming it app folder, and inside this folder I'm going to create a package.json. So for that, what I'll do, open terminal again and get into that folder first, cd app folder, and now you run npm init --y. I'm just adding this parameter or an argument to make my prompt suppressed. So now I have created my package.json, which I can pretty much see over here in app folder. It's so created. So let's now just change the code with our minimalistic code base, and that is this one, and we'll be just pasting it over here. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm telling the app router is the name, and my start script is node modules SAP approuter.js and the dependencies. So no need to worry about what this all crazy things, in case you are not aware of the Node.js. So this is some sort of a script that I'm telling, like it's a start script. The moment this app router, as I told, it's a Node.js application, right? The moment I'll be deploying it to cloud, some command or script is required which will run this Node.js application, right? It will not be auto executed, right? Someone should be there. So this start script will do this job. That is the first thing. And dependencies, of course, certain app router I would be required to have in my application. Currently it doesn't have anything, right? I don't have node modules, SAP app router, nothing is shown, only a very simple structure. So how to get all those? That's the next thing. For that, let me save this first what I'm doing. Okay, so let's save this first code, whatever we have written, go back to a notepad. The next command is I have to set a registry with that SAP package. So let's paste this command npm config, then config set SAP registry https sap.com. So let's little bit back forward. Yes, so that is the command I'm just doing. It will not do anything, it will just set a config setup done. And next is I'll be just doing this install app router. So now actually I'm doing this installation of the app router using node package manager. So let's again open the folder structure. Now you'll see this node modules, everything will be created. Currently it's not there. So let's run and just watch. It is downloading it. I'm just pausing the video, okay, and I'll just once it's downloaded, because it will take some time. Okay, so now download is complete, and you can now see the node modules got created with this @SAP, and you have this approuter.js under app router folder. So you're now able to map this path. Fine. So far so good. What next? Let's go back to our step document. We are going to create now an index.html under web app folder. Let's do that. Under app folder, I'm creating a new folder and name it called web app. Inside that, I'm creating a file called index.html. So that is our web application. And here what I'll do, I'll put HTML5 boilerplate code. So in case you don't see this one, what you have to do, let me first select that first. So it will auto generate all the boilerplate code that is basically needed for our application, for our index.html. Let's save it. And how did I get this HTML5? For that, you have something called extension. Go over there and search for something like HTML5 boilerplate. So this extension, once you have it, you have to just install. The moment you install, okay, you will have that, you'll be seeing that HTML5 things. And that's all. For the time being, I wanted to show in our web development. So of course my web development page doesn't have anything inside the body. So let's go back to our document. I'm just creating 3 div elements, and this div elements is something what I've shown. I'm creating 3 a link or kind of reference or hyperlink kind of things I'm doing. I'm telling like this is the path you have to follow to get the data for travel, for booking, and for currency. Now change the C now itself. Okay, pretty simple thing. So if I just now test this index.html, let's see how it looks. For this I have open with live server. So you might not be able to see this in your case. So if you don't see, what you have to do, similar way, go to extension and you search for live server. A very famous things. You just install the way I have done. Currently it's uninstalled, so you'll see find an install button and you just install it, and then you can easily test your applications. Okay, so now our application looks like. So if I click on this, nothing will work because I don't have any service yet bound to this URL. So that is what our overall intention. Okay, so next go back to our step document. We are going to do what now? We are going to, this part step 5 is done. Another step 6, we're going to add this xsapp.json. Let's go and I'll see we don't have anything yet. xsapp, right? So let's first one xsapp file. So let's create xs.app.json. So what this file will do, it is kind of a route determinations, like from which route to which route, I mean route from route to route, right? So that segregations, how to link that one, is basically determined by this xsapp.json. So what the code I have written, I'm just pasting it. You see, very simple. Let's save it first. So I'm telling, like, by default, this, once I'm just deploying this to cloud, and I click on this URL, application URL, as I've shown before, it's trying to open index.html. Now index.html, it will find over here, where it will find over web app folder, which is the local directory, right? So when it finds app root home as a path, it finds under this root that something called app router home is available. So it will directly come over here. It will not go to this, because for going to the second root, it needs a service as kind of a part of the request path. Once my application gets displayed, and I have 3 different URLs, right? Travel, booking, and currency. So, and that is having kind of an path content service, as you have seen in this index.html /service/travel. The moment it finds the root name called service, it will not go to this root, rather it will come to this root. And then it will say, hey, I have a destination. Instead of local directory, I have a destination, and this is called environment destination SAP home, or maybe change it back to in destination travel service, something, anything, any name you can give, doesn't matter. So that is the destination it is going to link to. Okay, so this destination now we have to actually create. So for that, and in both the cases, you have seen an authentication type is Xsua. I'm just linking. Okay, fine. Next, go to our notepad. Now we have to basically create an instance of Xsua authentication service. For that, go over here, go to services. I think I have in trial, click on the dev space. Connection lost. Let's reopen. Okay, I'm going to my dev space. I have something called service instances. So let's go over here, and similar, like I have created one thing called Xsua for HTML, but creating this instance is little bit tricky, so that's why I'm going to create once more with a name. Let's say what name it is suggesting, with the name, okay, with this name. I'll come to this manifest step 8 later. Let's focus on this one first, step 7. So go there, create a new instance, and from this drop down we have to select the instance or service that we are looking at. We are going to do something with the authentication and trust management service. So let it open. Yes, it's opened. Something called authorization and trust management. Select this one, select a plan. Last time when we create a video for Postman, we did an API access, but this time we'll select application, because I'm attaching an Xsua authentication instance for my application, and my application instance name, I'm giving it Xsua for HTML2, because I already have HTML. Don't click on create instance, click on next, and here we have to put this JSON this time. Last time we didn't do. Okay, so I'm giving a name. I'm telling the name is my app name 2 tenant mode dedicated, and this is called important foreign scope preference. Okay, so how did I get this value? That would be a question, I know. For that, what you have to do, you have this web API already, I assume, and if you click on service URL, it will open this one, and here you find this kind of value which I have copied and pasted from B2 till C, not .abap or web. This is not required, till C. Okay, before .abap I have copied entirely, and I have pasted over here, and I'm giving it all access. So this is the parameter setup that you need to do for your instance. So click on create instance. Instance created successfully. Go inside this instance and create something called a service key. You just put anything. I'm putting a service underscore key and click on create. So my service key is already built. Okay. And now what we need to do is we have to go back to our step document, and this manifest.html we have to copy and we have to paste in our manifest file. Go there. In the manifest file, I'm telling like, hey, actual my name app router name should be app router app2. I'm giving it a host name, and the path name, of course, app folder, because my manifest is outside of my app folder, right? Because we created manifest at the same level of app folder. So that's why I have to get into app folder, allocating a memory, and I'm attaching that Xsua service authentication over here. And this is the destination. So I have changed the destination name in our package.json. So let's go back, not package, xsapp.json. So this is the environment destination which we have to put back into manifest, right? So now file save all. So now what I'm doing is I'm telling in the destination part, hey, this is my actual URL, and I'm giving enter thing what I'm seeing, but I'm don't giving wave -wave, because if we go back once more, in case you are confused, you see above -wave.us. So this -wave I have just removed. Okay. So now I'm back to my app router project terminal again, and I have to now deploy this cloud because I cannot test it over here, right? I have to deploy this cloud back to application rather over cloud. For that I have to just do cf push, because I have already logged in. How to deploy I told already, one of the video I have already explained. So let's do a cf push and let's get into that. Let's see what it talks. Yes, it's loading. You make sure you are running this command from your main folder. Don't do it from app folder, you do it from app router project. Okay, one step, and from the parent folder I wanted to mean. So I'm just pausing this video because it will take some time to finish it off. So again I'll resume once it's done. Okay, I see that deployment is over. It is successful. This Node.js build pack, and this is the URLs you will see in our application folder in our cloud. My app router tools, cloud foundry apps, and ondemand.com. Okay, let's go our trial account and go to dev space. Yeah, you see this was my initial project, and now currently that we have built, right? So it is up and running, and let's get started also. That's what I told, like the moment it will be deployed, it will be started, and that this is the piece of code that ensures. Let's quickly go back to package.json. This start script actually now auto executing this app router.js. So let's open this application, app router app2, my router app2, as I told just now, same URL. It's opening, and click on execute. Wow, our local application which we built in our VS Code, it's now actually deployed to cloud. Fantastic. And I can also see a few URLs. So let's click on the travel now. You see, great, it is coming up. Fantastic. So we have successfully linked to, go to booking. Booking is also working fine. And currency is also perfect. Okay, so that's pretty much I wanted to show, and I hopefully this is informative and useful, because you need to create those kind of things if you want to follow the subsequent discussion, because I'll be creating some UI5 application going forward, and we'll be using this app router here in our project. So make sure you have this setup already created and your gets your hands starty with those kind of integrations and things. And share your feedback, subscribe my channel, don't forget it, and also connect in a next tutorial shortly will be again coming to. Okay, till then, goodbye, take care.